Hello, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about sleeper hits because a lot of you guys wanted me to talk about Cruel Summer and how it's having a strong run on the Billboard charts this summer, even though the song was released over 4 years ago. And there actually are quite a few other songs that, like Cruel Summer, have this sort of sleeper hit success story, if you will, meaning that maybe at their release they weren't doing so well and then they did ascend the charts. So in this video, I want to talk about Cruel Summer, of course, and also tell the story of some other sleeper hits. And all of the songs that are mentioned in today's video are linked in the description, so let's just go ahead and get into it. A sleeper hit is a piece of media, a song in the context of this video, that achieves sudden or unexpected acclaim after a period of obscure or middling results. So a song that was already popular when it came out and then becomes popular again after a little while doesn't qualify as a sleeper hit. Sleeper hits do come about in a lot of ways. Sometimes the artist wasn't as famous when they put the song out initially, and then their backlog gets more attention after they ascend to fame. In other cases, the artist may have put out the song at a time where it didn't resonate as well with audiences, and either taste or something societal changed to now make that song more enjoyable or timely. In other cases, the song is used in a popular piece of media or goes viral, which then exposes more people to it. English indie rock band Glass Animals have been around since 2010. The band has put out several EPs and 3 albums, including How to Be a Human Being, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. Throughout the 2010s, the group enjoyed success as a mainly indie act, having their first real mainstream break in the 2020s. In 2020, the band released their 3rd album, Dreamland. Heat Waves was released as a single in June of 2020, a couple months prior to the album's August release. The alternative pop song is as melancholy as it is psychedelic, trapping the listener in a loop of ruminating on every moment with whoever they lost and what could have been done to salvage it. Heat Waves has a summery tropical aspect to it, emphasized by the title and the claims that the speaker thinks about their loss on late nights in the middle of June. It's as if the heat-imposed delirium of the summer months makes the longing even worse. Heat Waves can represent all types of loss, as the song was actually inspired by the death of a friend of Dave Bailey's, the band's lead vocalist. It's likely that Glass Animals never expected Heat Waves to outperform their previous singles or even the other singles on Dreamland. Still, the song was popular, with Australian station Triple J naming it their #1 song of 2020, the first time a British act took that spot since 2009. Heat Waves entered the Hot 100 in January of 2021, at that point nearly 6 months after its release. After 42 weeks on the chart, it broke into the top 10, breaking Carrie Underwood's record for a song's longest climb to the top 10. Heat Waves topped the Hot 100 on March 12th of 2022, a couple months short of the single's 2-year anniversary. At 59 weeks, the song set the record for the longest climb to #1 on the Hot 100, dethroning Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. Because of this feat, Billboard published an article explaining some of the reasons that Heat Waves ascended the charts. First, the single dominated the smaller Billboard charts like the alternative airplay chart. Secondly, Billboard claimed that in the 2020s, songs have lasted on the Hot 100, especially in the top spots, a lot longer. According to them, out of the 5 songs with the longest top 10 and top 5 runs in the chart's history, none of them came out before 2016. That does make me think about how in the summer of 2020, the #1 runs were notoriously short, but I guess that may have been an anomaly. Third, as Billboard put it, virality breeds virality. After Heat Waves began climbing the charts, it of course became popular on apps like TikTok. Additionally, because the song was popular, it was used during a pivotal moment in the Netflix series Never Have I Ever. Over on Reddit, some even question if it was Never Have I Ever that was mostly responsible for the song's success. The song was also featured on the 2021 FIFA video game soundtrack. In an interesting turn of events, a Minecraft fanfic actually played a large part in popularizing Heat Waves. The song was used as a sort of theme song for a gay fanfic written about Dream and George Not Found, who are Minecraft YouTubers. This fanfiction was so popular that some even claimed the author, TBH Your Lame 1, was responsible for making Heat Waves a hit, while others expressed frustration the song was now so heavily associated with the Minecraft fanfic. Billboard also claimed that Heat Waves was able to find so much success simply because there wasn't much new competition. They noted that in 2022, several hit songs were carryovers from 2021, so there really weren't as many new hits to threaten or derail Heat Waves' climb on the charts. Heat Waves did end up being 2022's second most streamed single in the US, behind As It Was. Heat Waves earned Glass Animals nominations at the 2022 Billboard Awards for Top Duo or Rock Group, Top Rock Artist, Top Streaming Song, and Top Viral Song. The band took home the award for Top Rock Artist. Additionally, Glass Animals received a Best New Artist nomination at the 2023 Grammys, losing to Samara Joy. About whether the band was aiming to recapture the success of Heat Waves in the future, Dave Bailey said, "You can't try to repeat what you've done before. You'll never quite match it. Instead, we always try our hardest to sound like a new band and do something completely different for every record. We never want to do the same thing twice." Here, Alessia Cara's breakout single about wanting to be anywhere other than an unfulfilling party was another sleeper hit. The song was the lead single from her debut EP and debut album, both of which came out in 2015. Here was first released on April 30th of 2015. The song was inspired by an actual party Alessia attended where everyone else knew each other, and as she says in the song, she realized she'd rather be at home. Here it became somewhat of a wallflower anthem and came at a perfect time where teenagers were looking for artists their age to relate to them rather than make them feel left out. Critics did note the similarities between Alessia Cara and Lloyd, from the minimal pop production on their breakout singles to their lyrics about teenhood that were more slice of life and demystified the over-glamorization of partying and other markers of young frivolity. Alessia, who was signed with Def Jam, had to fight to get Here out as the label didn't believe in it, she said. "I knew that it was going to help me in some way, or at least change. I just knew that my life was going to be different for some reason. It was like an extreme battle getting that song out there. I remember the label finally compromised with me and just kind of threw it on SoundCloud. They were like, we're not going to push this, we're just going to put it out to shut you up. I'm glad that they did because it really did change my life." In August of 2015, Here entered the Hot 100 at number 95. Despite the label not pushing it, social media and streaming apps helped the song gain popularity. Here almost seemed like the perfect single to be consumed by internet teens, a lot of whom use SoundCloud to discover their music. Unlike Heat Waves, I couldn't find any super concrete reasons as to why Here soared in popularity. I'd have to mostly chalk it up to it being an easily consumable song online, one that teens who found it could relate to, which encouraged them to keep streaming and sharing the song. In terms of production, Here is a song that can appeal to several tastes at once. The song isn't high pop, but it's still punching enough to be entertaining. Likewise, the song's heavily R&B influenced, and though Alessia isn't rapping in the song, her delivery is similar enough that I think it would appeal to some hip-hop enthusiasts. Something about it is kind of reminiscent of spoken word to me. Here heavily samples Isaac Hayes' Ike's Rap 2, which came out in 1971. And when you listen to that song by itself, you can hear a lot more of the band instrumentation that gives Here that classic vintage feel. In early February of 2016, Here peaked at number 5 on the Hot 100 after spending a little under 6 months on the chart. Here did top the US mainstream top 40, the Hot R&B and hip-hop songs, and the US rhythmic charts. I did check to see if it was possible that the release of some of Alessia's other songs popularized Here, especially considering Alessia was putting out so much music at this time. Her second single, Wild Things, was released just days before Here hit its peak on the chart, so I'm not sure that that would have really helped anything. And then all of Alessia's other 2016 releases came out after Here hit its peak. So I guess it's a mystery, or not an entire mystery, because off the sound and subject matter alone, I'm not surprised that Here performed well, but I guess there's no exact confirmation as to why. Regardless, Alessia did win Best New Artist at the 2018 Grammys and earned 3 other nominations. She was also nominated for Top New Artist at the Billboard Awards, but unfortunately did not win. In 2010, Miguel released his debut album, All I Want Is You. The R&B album peaked at number 37 on the Billboard 200 and at number 1 on the top R&B and hip-hop albums chart. The opening track and second single, Sure Thing, is an R&B and neo-soul love song in which Miguel assures his lover that his feelings for her are a sure thing. A lot of pairings are referenced as a metaphor for their relationship, such as Painter and Muse, Lighter and Fuse, Writer and Quote, Lyric and Note. The song actually almost went to Usher and ended up on his 2007 album, Here I Stand, before Miguel decided to keep it, and it's actually the song that got him his record deal. Miguel's manager actually managed to get the song to Michael Jackson, who was a fan of the song and a fan of Miguel because he said Miguel's tone on Sure Thing reminded him of Stevie Wonder. In 2011, months after the album's release, Sure Thing entered the Hot 100 at number 36. It did, however, top the Billboard Hot R&B and Hip Hop Songs chart. In 2023, Sure Thing has seen renewed success. The original version, as well as a sped-up version of the song, started trending on TikTok in January. Mark Pitts, the exec who signed Miguel to Jive Records, now RCA Records, called him to tell him about the song's virality, which translated into increased record sales. Soon after the song started going viral, Miguel thanked his fans, and though he was surprised as anyone would be, he said he always knew that Sure Thing had something special. Miguel said, "I mean, Sure Thing came out when MySpace was everything. Sure Thing blew up on MySpace first, and that was actually a big part of me getting signed as well. So it's just a trip to see how art and expression, especially combined with technology, can really be powerful and have new lives. It's beautiful." In February of 2023, Sure Thing was sent back to pop radios, and the single re-entered the Hot 100. By June of this year, it peaked at number 11 on the Hot 100. Because of Sure Thing's renewed popularity, it broke Mary J. Blige's record of 75 weeks for the song with the most weeks spent on the Hot R&B and Hip Hop Songs chart. Additionally, in 2023, Sure Thing went top 10 in countries including Ireland, Latvia, Australia, New Zealand, and also in the UK. Miguel is excited that the song sort of created a renewed interest in his career in general, and said that because of this, plans for his future releases had also been pushed forward. In September of 2013, Irish singer-songwriter Hozier released his debut single, Take Me to Church. He wrote and recorded the original demo and then re-recorded it after signing to an indie label. Take Me to Church uses the Catholic Church as a metaphor for the speaker's lover, her hypocrisy, and how the speaker still feels attached and devoted to her despite it. Hozier claimed, "Take Me to Church was first a series of lyrical ideas where I was reflecting quite a bit on the legacy of the institutional lies of the Roman Catholic Church at home in Ireland. How it had treated people, the soft power that it had held over people's lives for so long. Here was this institution that had managed to instill in society this matrix of thoughts and values, which was deeply hypocritical and incredibly damaging." The music video for Take Me to Church went viral, exposing more people to the song. The video was a condemnation of homophobia, another aspect of the Catholic Church's hypocrisy that Hozier was against. The video's success had record labels clamoring to sign Hozier, and he eventually did sign with Columbia. Columbia rep Justin Eshik, who signed Hozier, claimed that a shift in pop music helped his success. Eshik attributed the shift in 2014 pop taste to Sam Smith, whose melancholy vocals ballads were dominating the charts. Like Sam Smith's music, Take Me to Church was another stark change of pace from a lot of the more upbeat, production-packed pop and hip-hop frequently on the radio. Hozier himself said that he didn't foresee Take Me to Church being popular precisely because it's so different from typical radio hits. The entire song is solemn and sobering, with haunting choral vocals underscoring the emotion in Hozier's voice. Take Me to Church is one of those songs that changes the mood when it comes on and stops and makes you listen. Even when the song's over, it still hangs over you like a heavy blanket, lingering to the point where you can't forget that you heard it. Take Me to Church was used in ads and series including Beats by Dre, Empire, Glee, The Leftovers, iZombie, and Supergirl. The versions used for Glee, Supergirl, and Empire were covers, however. In June of 2014, Columbia sent Take Me to Church to rock radio, with the single becoming a hit on several stations. At the end of August of 2014, Take Me to Church entered the Hot 100 at number 96. And that December, Hozier performed Take Me to Church at the Victoria's Secret fashion show, and a couple weeks later, the song peaked at number 2 on the Hot 100, just behind Taylor Swift's Blank Space. Take Me to Church did, however, top the Adult Top 40 and the Hot Rock and Alternative Songs charts on Billboard. At the 2015 Billboard Music Awards, Hozier won Top Rock Artist and Take Me to Church won Top Rock Song. It lost its Grammy nomination for Song of the Year, though Hozier did get to perform at the ceremony with Annie Lennox. It seems like Take Me to Church's slow start was initially due to Hozier being a relatively unknown artist. But with the success of the music video and its use in several promotions and shows, it makes sense why the song blew up. And it's not so much the case anymore now that streaming has taken off, but a lot of hit songs used to become hits because they were played on popular shows, or in cases like Hozier's and several. The most recent example I can think of is something like Stranger Things repopularizing Running Up That Hill. But it used to be the case with a lot of these weekly dramas that they had a heavy hand in making songs popular. And speaking of Running Up That Hill, Kate Bush's 1985 single experienced renewed popularity worldwide after its inclusion in the 4th season of Stranger Things. It was used in an emotional and pivotal scene in which Max escapes from the Upside Down in the clutches of Vecna, the season's villain. Vecna feeds off the trauma of his victims, and due to killing her stepbrother Billy, is responsible for some of Max's trauma. Running Up That Hill, which is Max's favorite song in the show, works as a soundtrack to her showdown with Vecna, but it also is a song that anchors her to the real world and to her loved ones. This scene really resonated with fans who struggle with depression and other forms of mental illness and have tried to use music to remedy that. Lyrically, the song fits the scene as it talks about coming to terms with being unable to change what is. While the song could be interpreted as being unable to change past events, Kate has said the song is actually about wishing men and women could swap places with one another to experience how the other feels. When it was initially released in the 80s, Running Up That Hill peaked at number 3 in the UK and at number 30 in the United States. It makes sense the song was bigger in the UK as Kate Bush is English, so the song is more of a sleeper hit in terms of the US. Because of Stranger Things, Running Up That Hill also peaked at number 3 in the US in July of 2022, 37 years after its release and 37 years after it first entered the Hot 100. The song also went number 1 in the UK in 2022, meaning it was Kate's first single to do so since 1978. Though the catalyst for it was Stranger Things, Running Up That Hill also went viral on TikTok, so much so that it was almost impossible to scroll for even seconds without hearing the song. Because Running Up That Hill had become so popular, Kate Bush gave her first interview in 6 years to talk about its success. She told the BBC, "I think they've put it in a really special place. I mean, the Duffer Brothers created the series, and actually we watched it from the first season onwards, so I was already familiar with the series. And I thought, what a lovely way for the song to be used in such a positive way, as a talisman almost for Max. And yeah, I think it's very touching, actually." Kate also released a statement on her website thanking her fans and Stranger Things fans for their support and noting technology's power to help the younger generation fall in love with older music. I feel like anytime I do a video topic like this, Levitating somehow ends up fitting the criteria. The song, which is from Dua Lipa's sophomore album Future Nostalgia, didn't hit its peak until over a year after its release. Future Nostalgia was released on March 27th of 2020, and Levitating was made a single that July. Levitating is an upbeat electronic disco track, likening a fun night on the dance floor to traversing through the cosmos. Social media played a large role in promoting Levitating, especially so at the time because people were flocking to apps like TikTok in droves due to the pandemic. In May of 2021, nearly 7 months after the release of the Levitating remix, the song peaked at number 2 on the Hot 100. This was about 14 months after Levitating's initial release on Future Nostalgia. A couple months later, due to the baby's homophobic meltdown at Rolling Loud, the Levitating remix was removed from radio stations and some streaming playlists, being replaced by Dua's original solo version. Luckily, this didn't really hurt the song's success as it was already everywhere. Dua's solo version outstreamed the remix, resulting in the baby's credit being removed from Levitating's Hot 100 entry. Currently, Dua Lipa holds the record for the longest charting song for a female artist, with Levitating charting for 77 weeks in the Hot 100. Levitating earned 5 nominations at the Billboard Awards: Top Hot 100 Song, Top Streaming Song, Top Selling Song, Top Radio Song, and Top Billboard 200 Global Song. The only nomination that Dua won was Top Radio Song. Levitating itself didn't receive any Grammy nominations, but Future Nostalgia was nominated for Album of the Year and Best Pop Vocal Album, winning the latter. This isn't related to the video topic, but it is related to Levitating. Earlier this year, I made a video about artists accused of song plagiarism. Dua was sued by the band Article Sound System as they claimed that Levitating lifted the melody from their song Live Your Life. I just wanted to update and say as of June of this year, Article Sound System dropped their lawsuit. However, as of late July, a third lawsuit has been brought against Dua over the song. This time, a producer is accusing her and her team of using an unauthorized TalkBot sample on Levitating, so we will have to see how this lawsuit plays out. Before I get into talking about Truth Hurts, I do want to let you know that if you're interested in hearing more about Lizzo's career, her brand, or are looking for information on the current lawsuit against her, please check out my recent video on that. But in this video, I will just be speaking objectively about Truth Hurts. Truth Hurts was initially released in September of 2017. The song is a self-confidence anthem, evidenced by the opening lyric, "I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that bitch." Truth Hurts is also about not settling for the bare minimum in relationships. The song got its first real push in 2018 after Lizzo began going viral online, which drummed up interest for her music. By February of 2019, the hashtag DNA test trend, inspired by Truth Hurts, was viral on TikTok. This was in tandem with Lizzo's own ascension to fame, which inspired people to look at some of the songs she'd released prior to Juice, which is popular at the moment. Another one of these songs was Good as Hell, which was actually released before Truth Hurts back in 2016. In early 2019, Truth Hurts was used in the trailer for the Netflix rom-com Someone Great, as well as a scene in the movie, which is the same scene that's shown in the trailer. The single fit perfectly with the theme of younger millennials wading through frogs to find their prince. Truth Hurts was re-released and sent to radio in March of 2019, as was Good as Hell. In mid-May, the song entered the Billboard Hot 100 at number 50. That summer, Lizzo performed Truth Hurts at the BET Awards and at the VMAs, further promoting it and earning co-signs from artists like Rihanna. On September 7th of that year, Truth Hurts topped the Hot 100. This was due to a combination of Lizzo's rise to fame and people revisiting the song, it going viral on TikTok, and its promotion through film and live performances. The popularity of Truth Hurts caused two separate parties to come forward and accuse Lizzo of plagiarism. The first accuser was artist Mina Lioness, who accused Lizzo of stealing the DNA test lyric from her. Mina claimed she tweeted the DNA test lyric in February of 2017, and Truth Hurts didn't come out until that September. Lizzo herself said that she found it in a different meme and credited it from that. The conflict was settled by October of 2019, resulting in Lizzo awarding Mina a songwriting credit. Just after this, the second accusers came forward with a lawsuit and a statement that they too were owed writing credit on Truth Hurts. The accusers were Justin Rothman and brothers Justin and Jeremiah Raisin. They claimed that they came up with the DNA test lyric and it had been used on a song called Healthy, which they recorded with Lizzo and released in April of 2017. They claimed that Healthy was a demo that later evolved into Truth Hurts. Though the DNA test line isn't Healthy, it couldn't be definitively proven that it wasn't Lizzo who came up with it. This lawsuit was settled in March of 2022, with both sides agreeing to pay their own legal fees. Truth Hurts was a large part of why 2019, which was Lizzo's breakout year, was such a success. The song earned her 3 Grammy nominations, including Record of the Year and Song of the Year, and won Best Pop Solo Performance. Truth Hurts was additionally nominated at the Billboard Awards for Top Hot 100 Song, Top Rap Song, Top Selling Song, and Top Radio Song, though it won none of them. In 2016, The Weeknd released Starboy, his third album. On it was Die For You, a retro R&B track about a love that slipped through his fingers. It's rumored the song was about a split from Bella Hadid, as The Weeknd had said in an interview it was the last song completed for Starboy, being finished about a week before the album's release. In its initial run, Die For You stayed on the Hot 100 for 3 weeks, peaking at number 43. It was slightly overshadowed by better performing singles like Starboy and Can't Feel My Face, the latter of which was actually on The Weeknd's previous album. Even for the award cycle back then, Die For You wasn't nominated in any song categories, though Starboy, the album, was nominated for several awards. In 2017, Starboy and The Weeknd were nominated for 12 different Billboard Awards, somehow losing all of them. Starboy did win Best Urban Contemporary Album, though, at the 2018 Grammys. Years after its release, in the fall of 2021, Die For You went viral for the first time on TikTok. This resulted in a music video finally being shot, and it was released in November of 2021 to celebrate Starboy's 5th anniversary. In the latter half of 2022, Die For You went viral on TikTok again. Because of this, the song went back to radio in August of 2022, re-entering the Hot 100 that same month at number 71. By November of that year, it had climbed to its original peak at number 43, and a couple weeks later was competing for a top 10 spot. However, in December of 2022, Die For You fell down into the 20th and 30th spots. However, a couple weeks into the new year, Die For You was at number 6 on the Hot 100, and it was clear the song had the potential to go number 1. What gave it that final much-needed push was, of course, the Die For You remix featuring Ariana Grande, which was released in March of 2023. So this means that from start to finish, it took Die For You about 6.5 years from the time of its release to top the Hot 100. For all the years it took the song to get there, Die For You only spent 1 week at number 1, which coincidentally Starboy also did back in 2017. Cruel Summer is an electronic synth pop song from Taylor Swift's 7th studio album, Lover. The song details the rocky, fragile beginnings of a romance, and it is Taylor's reflection on the start of her relationship with her ex Joe Alwyn, who she dated for about 6 years. For me personally, the production on Cruel Summer is the standout. It's very dramatic and reminds you of a supercut in a movie trailer, which kind of frames the whole relationship as this cinematic, larger-than-life thing, which is really common for the world building that Taylor does in her songs. Taylor said about Cruel Summer, "This song is one that I wrote about the feeling of a summer romance and how oftentimes a summer romance can be layered with all these feelings of like pining away and sometimes even secrecy. It deals with the idea of being in a relationship where there's some element of desperation and pain in it, where you're yearning for something that you don't quite have yet. It's just right there and you just can't reach it. Lyrically, Taylor has said Cruel Summer is one of her favorite songs that she's written. She yells a lot of the lyrics, and it kind of makes you imagine them as a more poetic version of something that Taylor may have said in an argument or thoughts that she's had in the past. Cruel Summer wasn't initially a single for Lover, but it still managed to debut on the Hot 100 at number 29, peaking at number 27 before leaving the charts after 2 weeks. It seems like Swifties were more or less always fond of Cruel Summer, and critics considered the song one of Lover's best tracks. But because it wasn't made or promoted as a single, that likely stopped it from at least entering the top 20 on Billboard. For her work on Lover, Taylor was nominated for one Billboard award, yet she did not win. However, that same year, she took home Woman of the Decade at the Billboard Women in Music Awards. Taylor was also nominated for 3 Grammys for Lover, but did not take home any of them. Cruel Summer experienced a revival when Taylor embarked on her Eras tour in March of this year. The song is actually second on the set list, as Taylor opens with her Lover era. The social media frenzy caused by the tour, especially in those initial months, resulted in Cruel Summer seeing a resurgence in popularity. When talking about the song's comeback, Forbes explained that often artists, DJs, or even labels do take notice when a song's streams rise after a period of stagnation. They can then make the decision to choose that song for commercials or other promos, send it to radio, or in terms of someone like a DJ, make sure they're playing it at events. And then if videos do come out with that song in the background, there's more promotion. So essentially similar to what I was saying with Truth Hurts and Take Me to Church, often these songs end up in one big promotion loop because remember, virality breeds virality. In May of this year, Cruel Summer re-entered the Hot 100 at number 49. Weeks later, the song was finally made a single and sent to radio. Just after Cruel Summer was sent to radio, the single rose to number 27. And the week that I'm recording this, which is the week of September 2nd, Cruel Summer is currently at number 4 on the Hot 100, with the previous peak position at number 3. Forbes suggested that if the song keeps on this trajectory, Cruel Summer could become a seasonal anthem like Thriller, All I Want for Christmas Is You, or Party in the USA. Some have predicted Cruel Summer may hit number 1, so that does still stand to be seen, especially since almost all of the chart entries for this week have moved down. It also stands to be seen if Cruel Summer will become an unofficial song of the summer for years to come, but it definitely feels like it was one for this year. Alright, so that is a bit more on sleeper hits for you guys. And actually, this is kind of one thing that I do really appreciate social media for, that it has the chance to make songs popular, and sometimes not just all songs in general, but songs that really didn't get a fair chance the first time around. Because if we think, for example, a song like Here, where Alessia said her label wasn't going to promote it, it's very likely that if social media didn't exist, we never would have heard the song, and it definitely probably would have never broken to the Hot 100. Then also for people like Hozier, it can really help you break out in general because Take Me to Church was his first single, and I think he was busking really before he got the push he needed to be a full-time musician. And then I'm biased because y'all know I love Glass Animals, but in the case of Heat Waves, objectively, it's a good song. I'm a little biased, but objectively, it is a good song. And a lot of people wouldn't have heard it even though Glass Animals already does have a strong fan base. They just don't have a mainstream fan base. So the song being on social media and played in FIFA and on TV shows, that helps get the songs out there. And I do think another thing I find interesting about these sleeper hits is a lot of them, like Heat Waves, Take Me to Church, even Here, I would actually throw Truth Hurts in, is that something about them sounds like a song that we haven't heard before. Something about it sounds unique or nostalgic or just different from what's on the radio or what's mainstream. And that also gives the song the push once people know it exists. They sort of grab onto it because they're like, oh, I haven't heard something like this in a while, if ever. And I say all that to say that sometimes, even if you are being unique and going in a different direction, it definitely is going to feel like your stuff is not popping immediately. But in a lot of these cases, even if it's years down the line, sometimes it just takes the right person or people. And it sometimes just takes a random person to discover it and just push it out there. And then everyone grabs on it and enjoys it and sees your art for what it's worth. I feel like sometimes at the end of these videos, I go on these like random like inspirational rants, but whatever. I mean what I'm saying. But as always, let me know your thoughts, let me know your opinions, let me know your favorite sleeper hits, and also if you know of others, because I realized I did mostly focus on 2010s examples, so if I do another video on this, I will, reach into some other decades. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on sleeper hits in general, and we will chat down in the comments as we always do. As always, thank you so very much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so that you can stick around for more. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter. That way you can keep up with me there. And if you'd like to become a channel member, the link is in the video's description. Again, thank you so very much for watching. I love you all so very much, and we'll see you so very soon. Bye-bye.